I'd like to show you an example of levitating small objects with sound waves. We've now set up the little loudspeaker and the reflector in front of this mirror, which is part of our Schlieren optic setup. And the purpose of that is to be able to actually see where there are regions of high pressure and low pressure in the air, especially the air between the reflector and the loudspeaker. If I adjust the height of the reflector, there's a point at which you see bands of white, light, and dark. This is the standing wave, and it only happens when the distance between the reflector and the speaker is some multiple of a half a wavelength. So every single one of those bands is a half a wavelength. If I go up a little higher, then it disappears again, but if I continue to go higher, then it will come back when I'm at another half a wavelength. And you can see the little ball settles down where there's a bright band, and that is the high pressure area. And I know it's a high pressure because you see there's a white band right next to the reflector, which is where the highest pressure will be.
This brings me to the ancient tools and artifacts and the Taurus stones and the cone-shaped tools. Now suddenly you have a very different take on when I get excited about the cone-shaped tools and why Ed Leeds-Kalnin, when I was told that he was seen levitating the giant rocks with these cone-shaped tools as ice cream cones, I got extremely excited because I understood what it means. And I've been picking up these cone-shaped tools everywhere. And suddenly you realize that they play a very important role in all of human history. This is from an iron mine in England. These are cones in Egypt. They were completely ignored until I found them. Cones in Australia, Mayan deity holding two cones, just like Ed Leeds-Kalnin was apparently seen. These cone-shaped hats that are found in some tribes that were used for special ceremonies. And then we get to the cone-shaped tools in the Rosicrucian Museum. Somebody emailed me today saying, hey, he went and he saw these cones in the Rosicrucian Museum in San Jose, and they're really there. So he was surprised that I wasn't making it up. He said, I blew his mind. And yeah, and they are written, can you see cuneiform texts that actually commemorate the building of the temples in Sumer, and one of them specifically refers to the temple of Inanna. So somehow they were used, just like Ed Leeds-Kalnin was levitating the giant rocks of Coral Castle. They were using these to levitate those giant stones of the temples of Sumer into place. And here is our friend Ed Leeds-Kalnin, Coral Castle. And he levitated those giant blocks. I think the biggest stone there weighs 30 tons, or maybe even more. And then we get to our Taurus stones, our sacred Taurus stones, which are clearly not weights for digging sticks. And they are far more important. They are very, very powerful toroid vortex field generators. They generate huge amounts of energy around them, just like our galaxy, just like our solar system, just like our bodies, just like our hearts create toroidal fields around our bodies. And they seem to suck in the ambient sound around them and actually amplify that. They create scalar vortex technology. That's really what they are. So please understand this, that at the center of that torus is what some call the 0 point, or the vacuum, as Nassim Haramein calls it. That's where we enter into the infinite density of creation. Show you, he understood how these bugs' wings worked and how they actually functioned, and that's why he could build such a device, because he thought out of the box. And this is to show you some experiments how these bugs' wings actually have levitation capacity. This is mind-blowing.
Today we're going to try to get one of these shells to hover over the other one. The original of this video is what inspired me to do this series.
look at ancient structures built out of stone, you realize that these guys knew exactly what they were doing. They understand that stone is the tool that carries with it, in it, information, storage capacity. It's an energy source. And that's why they used stone. Not because they were stupid, because they were very, very smart. We're the dumb ones, but we're catching up quite quickly. So what's very obvious now is that all these ancient structures, from the pyramids, Borobudur, etc., are all ancient machines. They were giant machines built out of stone, crystalline substance, to create or to perform specific functions. It's just the function that we haven't figured out. What were they built for? What were they supposed to do? And this is why they are aligned with the movement of the sun. Because we're always amazed, yeah, look, this is aligned with equinoxes and solstices and all this. And we think, oh, because they worship the sun. Oh, no, stupid. This is our stupid way of imagining that the ancients were stupid. They built this machine because the machine was aligned with the sun, because the sun is the activator of these machines. When the sun rises on the equinox over there and the first sun beams come down this passage and hit the standing stone, which is a crystal, you know that because all stones have crystal in them. So it's like hitting enter on your computer. Bing! It switches the machine on, and the machine does whatever function it's supposed to do until the sun moves over there, and then a beam comes to another passage, and then hits another, the sun, the light and the sound of the sun beams or sunlight hits another stone, and it makes the machine either stop whatever it was doing or perform some other function. And this is why they are aligned with the movement of the sun. So they work whether they're being operated or not. We don't have to sit there and wait and keep making it work. It works on its own. It's powered by the sound of the earth and activated by the movement of the sun. I mean, it's bloody brilliant.